Hello YouTube, it's StrongMonk74 here and I am bringing you some gameplay of Medal of Honor. And how stupid do I feel right now? You know, it wasn't a week max maybe where I was saying that, you know, I'm not going to be playing this game anymore. I'm going to be playing Bad Company 2. You know, EA suck, which to be honest they do. How they've treated this game, how they've treated the community, how they've treated Greg Goodridge, how they treated Danger Close, all for all of those reasons. You know, they really do suck and they don't deserve our hard-earned money or our time. But unfortunately for them, or well, fortunately for them, unfortunately for me, Danger Close and Greg Goodridge have done an absolutely fantastic job on this game, and I just miss it, you know. Like whenever I play any other game, I miss this game so much. When it first came out, I was the same. You know, it was buggy as hell. There was all sorts of issues on. And that was when I was playing on PS3. You know, I still had loads of issues, just as much as there were on any other platform, I guess. But you know, I just couldn't seem to put it down. You know, I tried going back and playing BF3, really couldn't. You know, I'd last you know, a week or 2 weeks max, and then you know, I just want to put Medal of Honor Warfighter back in the PlayStation and give it another go. And you know, it's proven again on PC as well. I just cannot get enough of this game. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's so hard to explain. I wish I could explain what it is about this game that I enjoy so much. You know, it's just. But for, you know, I guess for me, it's just got the perfect balance of tactical play, teamwork, and a little bit of, you know, in your face gun on gun action. It's just a perfect blend of all the things that I look for. You know, I don't want anything too tactical, like for example Arma 3. I'd find that a little bit too tactical. You know, I don't have the patience for it. I'd start running around, and you know, basically I'm no good to anyone. You know, on the flip side, I think of you know, I find you know, games like COD a little bit, you know, too untactical, if you like. And so for me, this game, you know, obviously that I'm sounding like a real picky so-and-so, but you know, and maybe I am, but I guess I'm entitled to be. You know, I'm a consumer. I should, you know, I'm just looking for what I really enjoy, and this game does seem to really have that in abundance. And to be honest, it's just the same as Bad Company 2. It really is just the same as Bad Company 2. I guess the only thing I miss with Bad Company 2 is I miss you know, gaming with my community, with my clan. You know, unfortunately a lot of those guys are in North America and stuff, so time zones don't quite work out a lot of times, and it's, you know, it's not quite the same playing that. It's so much more fun playing Bad Company 2 when you're playing as a team, as a squad. Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. And you know, yeah, of course you can have fun and play it, but it's real reward is playing as a team, and all that teamwork is so important in Bad Company 2. And I, you know, for that reason I do really like it. So and I will play that quite happily with my community, and when I've got my clan members online. But you know, especially when I'm on my own, if I just need to pick something up and you know, I want to have a little bit of fun, play a little bit tactically, get it, you know, have some close quarters combat. You know, this game has it all. It really does have all of that for me. You know, but you know, Battlefield 3 is cool. But to me, unfortunately, I just think the gameplay is a little bit too coddish when it comes to, you know, how it's been, how certain mechanics of it work now. Yeah, and Medal of Honor on the other hand, you know, you've got the way the guns handle, the way they're balanced. You know, obviously there's a couple of guns, you know, like TAC 50, the 870. People are obviously, you know, everyone probably agrees, or a lot of people would agree. You know, those guns, you know, could do with a bit of looking at. See if they could make them a little bit more balanced, and you know, maybe not sort of like ruin certain game modes, certain maps, you know. But you know, on the whole though, the rest of the guns are absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love the way they balance these guns. You know, if the gun's really powerful, it's going to have a huge kick, it's going to have a lot of spread, and it's going to have a low mag count. gun's not so powerful. It'll be a little bit more accurate. It'll have a higher mag count. You have more bullets to play around with. So they've really nicely balanced it up. And same with the classes. Like there's a lot of, to me anyway, I run into a lot of players playing different classes. Generally, the games I'm playing, if I'm playing on a server that's not hasn't banned the TAC 50, yes, you end up with a lot of snipers who are playing TAC 50 and just sitting at the back or just trying to get a few kills, probably more worried about their KDR than anything else. But they can be easy enough to deal with. All you've got to do is flank them. And that's the nice thing about this game. And the maps might be small, the player counts, but again, that the map being small is countered by the fact that the player count isn't huge. So on a map, you can flank the enemy, especially if they're not looking after their choke points. It's so important for them to look after their choke points. And right here, this is what I mean about snipers. Is God knows how many they've got on their team here. They're really struggling to hold even their own flag right now. But they continue to come in as snipers. They continue. That's the third sniper there that I've just dealt with. And these guys are continuously coming in. And that's what I mean. I guess some people just want to more worried about their KDR than the actual objective, which is a real shame. But on the whole, I think I'm running into some nice mix of players, playing Spec Ops, Point Man, Assaulter. I'm seeing a few more heavy gunners out there now. Even on Sector Control, I've seen some players, playing demo. Generally, you'd think they'd be playing that on Combat Mission or Hotspot or something like that, but no, they seem to be doing it on Sector Control, and fair play to them. There's so many things about this game that I just thoroughly enjoy, and it's so hard to say. I can't really narrow it down to just one thing. It's just a combination of so much stuff with Warfire. I really do think it's fantastic. That right there, it just shows you this game still has so many glitches, and it's such a shame because EA was so close. They could have published a game that would have probably knocked the socks off any other game out there, but they chose not to back Danger Close to a hilt. They chose not to back Greg Goodrich. And in my mind, they made a real balls up with that. They could have had a fantastic game that really would have really put them. I know BF3's put them on the map, but this could have been absolutely fantastic for them. Like one year they're releasing a Battlefield series, and the following year they're releasing a Medal of Honor series. But they chose not to do it. They chose not to. They didn't have the courage of their convictions, if you like. And it's a real shame. I think they've really they've basically dropped the ball there. And but it hasn't stopped me playing, unfortunately. I should know better. I should know better to not encourage them. I shouldn't give them my hard-earned cash, let alone my hardest time. Like I said before, I don't have all the time in the world on my hands to be doing this sort of thing. So the time I do, it's fairly precious. So I shouldn't really waste it on EA. But you know what? It'd be doing a disservice to Danger Close and Greg Goodrich if I just gave up on it just because of EA. That's not to say I'm gonna continuously play it. I'm not. Bad Company 2, definitely I will be going to and playing it. It's an awesome game. It's real fun. A lot of players. I cannot believe how many players and how many full servers there are out there at all times of the day, regardless of what time zone you're in. It's constantly busy, and that's a real testament to that game. And it is probably the closest game I can think of that comes to gameplay to Warfire. Anyway, for now, that's me. I'm done. A little rant and stuff, but I hope you enjoyed the footage, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.